Voice. Peter Kefalas back with you again. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone's doing well. So I just posted a short video on Instagram. Just came back a little while ago from a town hall meeting in my district, District 30, that was held in Middle Village with the Juniper Park Civic Association. And there were some candidates there. There were some representatives of elected officials there. So let's jump into the story. This is about the current comptroller, Brad Lander, who we know is trying to be mayor with no shot. So who knows, he'll probably turn into a lobbyist or something after this. But I wanted to talk about the lackey that he sent. So I forgot his name. He's not very memorable, but his card's upstairs. Anyway, I've seen this guy before. He is someone who's been on the job for 3.5 years. And he is the liaison for the borough of Queens. Now, how ironic is it that when there is election time, he's made his very first appearance in District 30, my district, tonight. Now, I've seen him at another event in Astoria where he actually said we really don't audit much. He reads from their website, at least at that event, he read from his website. Really not very articulate. And today I went over there and I spoke after he did, and he was asked a lot of questions he should know about flooding in the area, about getting lawsuits with the city if your vehicle's hit by a sanitation truck or a fire truck or stuff like that. Just very simple things that he should know. And he's basically stutters a lot. He can't answer questions. He plays like the comptroller, can't do much, doesn't have much power, which is nonsense. They don't do much and they haven't done much, but they can do much. They just don't choose to. So the reason that I really lit him up today, and I have a mean streak in me sometimes, and this was probably the most angriest event that I've went to and spoke, and I really did lay some fire on him today. He really did deserve it, and I'm going to tell you why. You don't show up to a district. You've been in that job for 3.5 years. You've had that job. Today's the first time you show up. 3.5 years, right around the corner from election. And you think that's acceptable? You're spitting in the face of my district, all the people who live here, and you're basically showing a lack of respect, a lack of interest. And he just really could not answer questions. It was really pathetic. He is a bureaucrat, a political hack, and he is the reason people like him and his boss, Brad Lander, and so on and so on. But they're the reason I jumped into this race, because I'm disgusted by what they do with our money, who they spend it on. We're paying these people salary, we're paying them benefits, and they're producing zero for us. He spoke about, we found $3 million, but what about the over $1 billion that Comrade Bill and former First Lady Charlene McRae wasted on Mental Thrive? What about that? Crickets. Doesn't say anything. What about all the other corruption, nepotism, fraud, waste, incompetence? Crickets. So $3 million is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but it's a drop in the bucket just to compare to Thrive New York or a lot of the waste in general that happens throughout the city. So I was really infuriated that he showed up, and he has the same speech all the time. Oh, here's my number, call me, but I might not pick up 2 a.m. Corny, nobody laughed. And the constituents really had a lot of questions for him. They asked him one particular question: what about all the flooding in the district? And he went on some tangent about Hurricane Sandy, which was a long time ago, and they're talking about recent floods. Then he went on to talk about, well, if it's more precipitation than usual, an act of God, we don't pay out, blah, blah, blah. Gaslighting us, BSing us. And I really think the guy's got a lot of cojones to come and show his face. And he was even asked, what are you going to do in 2.5 months when you don't have a job? Now, I've created thousands of jobs, not just in the US, but globally. I've worked for a lot of companies that were multinational. And the behavior, the lack of professionalism that this person shows, and his boss, Brad Landers, and tons of other elected officials, this would not be tolerated for 5 seconds in the private sector. Now, those of you who work in the private sector, probably shaking your heads, agreeing with me, we know that you do not squander money. You do not show up to a board meeting, to the shareholders, the employees, whatever it might be, and have Mickey Mouse Scooby-Doo moments. That just doesn't fly. It's not acceptable. But It is allowed to fly in the government, and it's just our money, right? Who cares? He's getting paid. He's getting paid benefits. His boss is getting paid. Now, they have 800 people approximately that are subcontractors, about 12 people there. And I told them, I hope someone has the video. You'll be the first one that I fire. I mean, what are we paying these people for? Now, I understand there was a few people who said, I'm pulling for you, Peter. Let's tone it down with the name calling. And I did brutalize him. I'm not going to lie, but he deserved it. And I would do the same, even worse, to his boss if he had the cojones to show up. Now, let's not just pick on a side note for a second. Let's not just pick on Brad Lander and his lackey. Adabu sends a lackey there all the time, and he's never, or it's been quite a while since he addressed that body in person. And the person that represented Senator Abato, they got beat up too. They didn't have, they were taking notes. That was I'll take notes and get back to you. That's a failed government. That's bureaucracy. That's bureaucrats. That's nonsense. That's why this city is headed down the toilet. That's why this city is in the situation it's in. So, look, the crowd there was, retirees, working people, several teachers, retired teachers, veterans. And, I think it resonates when I call this guy out. Now, I'm not a politician. I mean, it just makes me cringe to say that. I'm just a private citizen who got tired of watching our city get destroyed, watching people waste, steal our money, misuse it, put illegal aliens first, put criminal illegal aliens first, not take care of our kids, not take care of our police by defunding them, just letting the city go to hell. And where is Brad Landers? Where's he been screaming, where's his voice? I haven't heard it. Most of these people, I haven't heard it. So they're complicit. They're guilty. They own the situation that we're in. And look, we're going to get Curtis elected. We're going to get myself elected. We're going to get all the Republicans elected, because I really do believe not just the Republicans and the Conservatives are going to come out, but if you own any property, you have kids, if you have grandkids, do you own a business, small, medium, large, extra large, why the hell would you want to have Mendami, Madman Mendami, the young socialist rich guy who's going to give us free everything, pixie dust and bubblegum, as I say, to destroy this country, this city? And why the hell would we want anyone like Brad Landers when we can have Brad Lander, when somebody like Mark Levine is going against me, career politician, he'll take money from anyone, and this is someone that has destroyed the island of Manhattan. So just wanted to touch on this. It just had me heated today, and these are some of the people, some of the reasons, the behavior, why I jumped in the race. And I had a few people afterwards that say, hey, Peter, we know you're really angry. We know you're not a politician. One guy was like, I really see that you're passionate. You're real now. And I said, I've always been real. I just really had to light this guy up, because the smug attitude that he has, that he could just show up and read his little script, not have substantial answers for the constituents, show up the first time, one time in 3.5 years. It's disgraceful, it's unacceptable, it's disgusting, and it's an example of a failed government that is not working for the people, but sadly working against the people. So remember, the comptroller is in charge of a lot of money, the 5 pension funds for the city, lawsuits, settling, defending, getting justice for people. There were so many people there that were, asking questions about flooding, about different things with lawsuits with the city, bad experiences. And I honestly didn't find that he answered any of the questions well. And I thought he did a lot of deflecting, a lot of gaslighting, and a lot of basically, we really can't do much as a comptroller, kicking the can down the road, passing the buck. Now, they don't do much, and the comptroller hasn't done much in modern times. That's a given, but it's not an excuse. Now, and I said this to him on the mic. I said, I won't disrespect my family's honor and operate in the manner that he did, and show up with basically nothing to say but, hey, I'm here, first time ever. It's spitting in the face of the constituents here in District 30, including myself. And we deserve better. But listen, not just District 30. We all deserve better. Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. And I want to know, Queens County, minus District 30, please reach out to me on the comments, share your thoughts. I want everybody to chime in on this one. How many people have seen the liaison for the borough of Queens at their community meetings, civic associations, whatever it might be, how many people have seen this person one time, 0 times? Now, the other boroughs out there, how many of you people have seen that person's counterpart? Every borough has a lackey from Brad Lander that's responsible for being the liaison. How many people out there in the Bronx, Staten Island, Brooklyn, Manhattan, how many people have seen their version of the guy that we saw today for the first time in 3.5 years? How many people never saw him? So one thing I've promised, when I do become comptroller, I'm going to do town hall style meetings in every borough often. And I'm going to take questions from the constituents. And even if they're hard questions, and I'm going to answer them honestly, truthfully, and intelligently, because the citizens deserve nothing less. It's a big responsibility to be the comptroller. And I really wrecked this guy today, and I told him, listen, you haven't created any jobs. You probably have never worked in anywhere in the private sector, at least substantially. And really, he's unprepared. And it's very, like I said, I took personal offense to it. It's very rude and disrespectful when you send a lackey for the first time in 3.5 years, while his boss, a failed comptroller, in my opinion, I don't think too many people would push back on that, has mayoral aspirations when we know he has no chance to be mayor. He'll probably go out and be a lobbyist or something like that. But just wanted to say that. It's on my mind. I'm fresh back from the meeting just maybe an hour and a half ago. And I just wanted to put that out there. I think it's really important that government work for us, the people, not the other way around. And when you're in charge of people's money that they've worked hard for, that they're paying into the system, people's pension, lawsuits, audits that we know they don't do, and he's out there patting himself on the back, we found $3 million. They waste $3 million probably every hour, if that, if probably every 5 minutes. And he thinks he should deserve some kind of trophy because his boss and him supposedly found $3 million. Now they're auditing all these things. You know, look, it's all horse rubbish. Everything that came out of his mouth was BS, horse crap. And, it is what it is. It's just really sad when those are the people in government, and that's the interactions that they have, the little bit of interactions once in 3.5 years, and they're not good interactions. And I wasn't the only one that was heated. A lot of people asked him questions, and he didn't really have a very good response. He didn't really have a good reaction there. And it is what it is. He's probably a nice guy, outside of the government, but this is not, a matter to laugh about. This is not a joking matter. This is our money. Our city's going down the toilet because of people like him, because of people like his boss, because of people like Levine that I'm running against, who have let Manhattan turn into a cesspool, a dangerous third world place. Drugs, crime, filth, violence, death, and mayhem. And it is what it is. That's the truth. So, look, we deserve better, New York. For at least 12 years, we have had horrible people in office in pretty much every position on a city level, almost. And obviously, we have a radical city council for the most part. We probably have about 8, give or take maybe 9 good folks on there, but the rest of them are just, not doing the right thing. Look at the condition of the city. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. Share, like, subscribe if you've yet to do so. It takes a second. It will cost you nothing, and it really helps us out. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And I'll be back soon. This is Peter with Queen's Voice. Take care of each other and be safe.